How do you perceive the current state of the logistics and supply industry in Asia? What are the key trends shaping its future? And how do you foresee logistics and supply chain industry in coming years?
I think I see more of opportunities, whether it is with disruptions or with the volume. Uh, I believe last 1 decade was a good foundation laying for the Indian logistics industry to come. Just few years back only we got as a industry status from ministry, from the government logistics. So the foundation has been set good when we look at the national logistics policy, which came with the consultation of the industry. And now going forward, the volumes in India with respect to logistics are not there. The volumes are growing. So it is good when you look at the hindsight that the foundation was laid in a very good manner, and further good initiatives by government. When we look at ULIP, I strongly believe ULIP is going to be game changer for all the logistics practitioners, unified logistics interface platform, where every data is flowing through that, and then industry, if they leverage on that, they can do a lot of changes. But coming back to what lies in future, we spoke in one of the conferences also that e-commerce penetration is only 8% of the total retail. That's only one area. Right now, when you look at in the retail, the only volume, high volume is in the apparel area. But that's also not that volume which is seen in countries like even China and Russia, Europe, US. Our volume is manufacturing, and that too also not big. That's also growing with Make in India thing. Manufacturing will grow. E-commerce is growing. Organized retail with all the UPIs, demonetization after that, all the unorganized sector has come into the organized sector. So all these things will only increase the volume. And when the volumes are getting pushed, technology will come. And when technology is coming, the automatically upskilling of the human manpower, all the people in India will happen, and we will move from the labor intensive country to a skilled people's industry. So I see huge future. And when we talk about India at 100 going to be a 26 trillion economy, that's what I think one of the big fours had put in one of their articles. And if we are logistics, even if we are, say, anybody can debate a number whether we are 12% of GDP, 14%, and let's say we become very competitive, China is at 9%, Europe is at 10%, we say we will be at 10%. 10% of 26 trillion economy, it's a huge number. So logistics is going to contribute a big. Infrastructure will be one big, and logistics will be one big pillar. And we have huge opportunities still, I say, on the commodity side when we look into our mineral evacuation, coal evacuation, in our cement, steel, all these places, because of the geographical imbalance, here the logisticians have to come up with that. But the foundation is good with the new initiatives like ULIP. Gati Shakti is, PM Gati Shakti is going to be one biggest enabler, which I again and again say that private industry is not leveraging and not taking advantage of that. It is not just for logistics, but it has a wider impact one can do for designing or defining anything beyond logistics. So I think a lot to do, huge opportunity. It's up to us how much we grab that. There are two things I see challenge currently. One challenge is the human capacity, capability, skill level what we have. We need to increase and improve that. And second is the technology adoption to manage that volume. Such volumes cannot be managed in a very primitive manner. The technology adoption has to happen, and the volume consolidation has to happen. Volumes are very fragmented. When you look at some of the warehouses, they are tiny, but the warehouse consolidation has to happen. Those who are consolidating, they will leverage on that, and they will have the better inventories, they will have the better efficiencies, and those who will be efficient will be the winners in this particular game. But we have lack of technology adoption and the skill level. And technology adoption, when I say, it should not be that something is happening in the developed economies and we just copy and bring it over here. That might not work in India. So here there has to be innovation in terms of technology adoption, technology localization, technology tweaking, which fits to the Indian business model.
How does BEUMER Group foster collaboration and partnerships within the supply chain ecosystem in the logistics industry?
As a company, we are running our next strategy cycle, and which calls as Strategy 2028, and there we call that we want to be partner of choice uh, by differentiation and collaboration. And collaboration is key. When you are dealing in such a complex industry like logistics, where you have multiple agencies, multiple service providers, multiple so basically complete industry, you are stitching the industry together to move the things from one place to another and to enable that industry to perform, whether it is a manufacturing unit bringing the raw materials to them, semi-finished to somewhere else, finished to somewhere else, and to the consumers. So I say logistics is a industry or a segment which is stitching everything together in the world. And to have this, and somebody thinks I'll do it alone, it will not be possible. So there has to be collaborative models. There are people who are working on, I think some years back, National Logistics Portal was one good example how you can stitch and bring different stakeholders on one platform. So these collaborative models, these collaborative platforms will have to emerge and will have to mature, where multiple people can participate and work, because alone it can work, it will not work. And this participation, collaboration cannot only be just the private companies. Here the government agencies also have to participate, and when you collaborate you have to become transparent, and you need to open up the things, whether it is customs, whether it is ports, whether it is inland movement, whether it is logistic service providers, whether it's manufacturer. Certain degree of transparency has to be there if you want to collaborate. If you can't bring transparency, collaboration might not work.
Given the current scenario where only a few numbers of women are playing major roles in space logistics and supply chain in India, how do you perceive the career opportunities for women within this industry?
I see people are working on shop floors across the world. Females are also working. Uh, in India, I have seen some new age companies which are doing very good on the shop floor or on the warehouse or in the senior logistics logisticians. But the numbers are very less, and I think you can't force. It has to be a initiative by the organizations. It has to be a need seen by the organization, that and it should not be seen in terms of that I look good. It should not be a fashion statement that I have 25% or 30% diversity in terms of female. And I think the policies has to be made where people take it not as a compulsion, but see there is a benefit. Like same way when sustainability people start doing as a fashion, digital adaptation people start doing as a fashion, and diversity when people start doing as a fashion because somebody else is doing, within 6 months, 1 year, or maybe 3 years, you will fail, because you never thought through what exactly is. So you need to define what are the benefits you are going to get. I always give an example. Females are better in many of the tasks, better than males. If you go to a fast food center to order a food, if you stand there are two queues. If one queue is manned by a female and one by a male, the female queue will move faster, because she will be very focused in doing what she is doing. And this is what the places have to be identified where you can bring more efficiency by having the better gender to play a role. And this is what industry need to do, is they need to identify the benefits what they are going to get. and that's what it can change. Otherwise, if it is forced upon, some places it will be successful, some places it will not be successful. Same for sustainability, same for digital, same for diversity. These should not be a fashion statement or thing like everybody is doing it. They have to figure out a benefit out of it. And there are hundreds of benefits when you do any of these things, but thought through thing. And that's what I believe stops many places.